Hello everybody, this is Fronito Barber here, and welcome back to another race review. I have to be a bit quiet right now because it is 12:43 a.m. and the Coca-Cola 600 just came to an end. It shouldn't have went on for this long, but there was that 1 hour and a half rain delay, which caused this race to go on until 12, almost 1 a.m. And Memorial Day on Monday. So this day was a lot of fun, and this review, this is gonna be about the three races that went on today. That was the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, and of course the Coca-Cola 600. I watched all three races today, and now it's time for me to give my opinion on each and every single race. So let's start with Monaco. So Monaco was meh. There were a few exciting bits in the Monaco Grand Prix, but most of it was a bit dull. I mean, it wasn't a horrible race, but it wasn't that great either. I mean, yeah, it said Monaco, which is, and I'm guessing Monaco is like the most important race in all of F1, and yeah, Monaco. Yeah, the race, yeah, sure is one of the greatest spectacles in racing, but the race itself was eh. All when that one guy went on the side, that was a bit scary. And now the thingy is back. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, of course the thingy is still on, but yeah, WWE's retired, but anyways, on with the review. I'm just gonna continue that later. So yes, so Monaco, yeah, when that guy went on the side, that was a bit scary, but you know, he recovered nicely. Oh, of course, there's Dale Jr. Maybe I should have waited until this was over to do this video, but at the same time, it's extremely late, and I need to get this uploaded to YouTube, and then I need to go to bed straight away. So yeah, Monaco. And what else in Monaco? So yeah, Sebastian Vettel won, which is interesting, and it's Ferrari's first win at Monaco since 2001. So yeah, that's something to say. Lewis Hamilton started back in 13th, and I believe he finished 6th. So Hamilton, yeah, he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to get back on the pole. Because as we know, Lewis Hamilton is my favorite Formula One driver of them all. Because I like Mercedes. I'm a Mercedes fan, considering I'm German, and I also like Lewis Hamilton because he's a champion driver, and I am a fan of champion drivers. Yeah, and maybe a few underdogs if they're new or old or something. Okay, so Truex is now leading in the point standings by 4 points in the NASCAR race. Yeah, and Chase Elliott falls all the way back down to 7th. Daniel Suarez in 19th, and I don't see Kyle Busch anywhere on the pole standings. That's a bit odd. I don't know, but yeah. So Truex is now the points leader by 4 points. So yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Anyway, back to Monaco. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton. I think we pretty much covered the Monaco race. Yeah. So overall, what in the world? That was weird. So yeah, overall, I give the race a 5 out of 10. Could be a bit more actiony, but at the same time, All right, on to Indianapolis, the Indy 500. Now this race was a good one. We saw a scary crash on lap 53. One guy flipped. I forget his name. I'm not sure if it was Joseph Newgarden or someone else. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, so so this one guy, he was out of the out of the blackness, he was into the grayness, and then he went to the inside, the infield, and then there was this one guy who was coming straight out of the blue, and he ramped off the guy who was losing control, and his car flew into the air, and then crashed into the catch fence, ripping his car apart, and there was barely anything of the car left, but the driver, whatever his name was, he was absolutely fine and could go to the infield care center, and he was eventually released. I forget who the name of that guy was, but you could probably find a replay of it on YouTube somewhere. I guess just search the IndyCar channel, or if you're watching this in the future, just search 2017 Indy 500 highlights, and one of them will probably be that crash. And then the race went on. Yeah, 3 Hondas blew up in the Indy 500. Yeah, and one of them just so happened to be Fernando Alonso. Yeah, Fernando Alonso missed out on the Monaco Grand Prix so he could take part in the Indy 500, and he was driving a Honda, and guess what? Engine blew up. And Alonso, he had a chance of finishing in the top 10, possibly a top 5, but that Honda engine just blew up on him. You know, I never really trusted Honda engines. I always went with Chevy whenever it came to IndyCar. Yeah. If I were to become an IndyCar driver in real life, I would go with Chevy, because their engines are more reliable, to say the least. Honda engines are not so much. So yeah, Honda engines aren't reliable. Yeah, and there was also this incident where 5 cars, well, these 2 guys were getting loose. Oh wow, I think that's over. But yeah, 2 guys were getting loose, and there was these 3 other guys trying to avoid these 2 other guys, and they all ended up spinning out, and it ended up being a 5-car pileup. Oh dear, that was a bit of a mess. And then, 5 laps to go. Me and Daddy were rooting for Helio Castroneves to win this race because he's a Penske guy, and but it turned out that Helio he wasn't up to par, and so what was his name again? Was it Takumu? I don't know, but Takuma Sato. I think that's what it was, Takuma Sato. Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. But yeah, Takuma Sato, a Japanese driver, 40 years old, takes the lead with 2 laps to go and wins the Indy 500. So yeah, he celebrates in victory lane, and yeah, so overall, Indy 500, I would say it was a good race. I would give that race an 8 out of 10. Indy 500 was a good race. Indy 500 indeed. And now, the 3rd race of the day. iPad is being weird again. I don't know, you can still see my face. But, yeah. Oh, Eyewitness News and all. I can just turn the TV off now. What in the... Okay, this thing's being stupid. Turn off. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, Coca-Cola 600. Coca-Cola 600 time. Yeah, let me tell you something. I made a bet for the Coca-Cola 600 where if Kyle Busch didn't win the race, this mustache of mine would have to go. Now, Kyle Busch didn't win the race, but I'll get to that later on in the video. So, Coca-Cola 600, first stage, 30 laps in, already an incident. Jeffrey Earnhardt, some debris goes all over the track, which causes Chase Elliott to run over it, causing him to slow down, which causes Brad Keselowski to run into the back of him. And Daddy, he was very disappointed to see Chase Elliott. He was out of the race, and so was Keselowski, and yeah, that was a bit of a bad moment for on lap 30. Chase Elliott out of the race, and so was Keselowski. Oh dear indeed. Yeah. So yeah, that happened, and then on lap 90, Kyle Busch made an awesome move for the lead, I suppose, and he went on to win stage number 1. And then we go on to stage number 2. 50 laps in, there's a massive rainstorm, which causes a 1 hour and 28-minute delay in the race. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, they should really consider bringing rain tires to NASCAR races besides road courses. Like they have rain tires at Sonoma and Watkins Glen, since those are road courses. But they need to have rain tires everywhere else as well. Like, not just road courses, but they need to have rain tires everywhere. Whether it be Bristol, Charlotte, Dover, any track, wherever it's raining. They need to have wipers and rain tires and taillights on those cars. Because it'll save time. And yeah. So yeah. 1 hour and 28-minute rain delay. Yeah, so they showed a presentation of a condensed version of the 1987 Winston 500, which gave birth to the restrictor plate, and then a bit of history about the Coca-Cola 600 event. So yeah, 1 hour. So fast forward, we're ready to go back racing, and Martin Truex Jr. dominates for the whole rest of the stage, goes on to win stage number 2, and on to stage number 3 we go. Truex dominates again for pretty much the whole entire stage in stage number... Well, actually, Kyle Busch... Actually, no. Well, I think Truex was dominating stage 3 for a while. But then there was a caution, and then Kyle Busch took the lead from there. He dominated the rest of stage 3. And then moving on to stage 4, Kyle Busch continued to dominate on the restart, going on to stage number 4. But then there was another caution around with 90 laps to go or something, and then Kyle Busch started on the outside, which caused Truex to gain an advantage, and Truex was like pulling away as if he had a jet engine strapped to his vehicle, strapped to his car, and so then Truex just dominated the whole rest of the stage until pit cycles with 10 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, and a few other guys stayed out. And so they tried to stay out to win the race with 10 laps to go. And on the final lap, or with 2 laps to go, Jimmy Johnson runs out of fuel. Austin Dillon takes the lead. And then here come Kyle Busch and Truex, just blasting like rocket ships, trying to get up to the front as fast as they possibly can before the race is over. But Jimmy Johnson runs out of fuel, and then Austin Dillon is able to coast to victory lane. Oh.
You still up?
Yes.
We'll sleep as warm in the morning.
Don't worry.
Oh.
I just gotta finish recording this. But yeah, as I was saying before, Austin Dillon cruises to victory lane, which actually helps that Austin Dillon won this race, because I was predicting that at some point this season Austin Dillon was going to win a race, and he does it. And Kyle Busch finishes second, and Truex finishes third. So overall, it's still a great night. And because it is, the mustache is staying. For at least until the next important NASCAR race, which will most likely be the Southern 500. That could be a thing in the future. Other than that, there you go. My review of the Memorial Day weekend racing view. So yeah, most of the Coca-Cola 600, it was mostly dominating and stuff, but yeah, it was still, I'd say a mediocrely good race. Like, I give the Coca-Cola 600 a 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad race. Pretty decent. Yeah, I think it'll just fall into the category as being, decent. Yeah. It is 2 minutes to 1 a.m., which means that I need to upload this video to YouTube and then head to bed. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall see you in whatever I make next. Bye-bye.